To bake a vanilla sponge, like traditional Victoria sponge, I've already set the oven to heat up at 175 to 180 degrees. I'm going to start mixing the butter, and I'm using unsalted butter with about 82% fat, along with some Stork. If you prefer to use just butter, it's fine. I think the butter has a very strong flavor, and to soften that flavor, I intend to mix the butter and Stork. But if you want to stick with butter, go ahead and use just butter. I wouldn't use just Stork because the consistency of the sponge doesn't turn up so nice. So I've got the butter and the Stork here, and the overall quantity is 1 kilogram, half butter, unsalted butter and Stork. And I've got 800 grams of caster sugar. I'm going to start mixing those, and I can add the vanilla as well. I will use oil-based vanilla essence from Dr. Oetker. That's also clear in color, but if you prefer to see the seeds of the vanilla, then you can pick a different type of vanilla essence, maybe the Madagascar vanilla extract from Dr. Oetker. Or if you prefer a different flavor, like the Sicilian lemons, that's also really nice. I can add just a drop, as the lemon flavor always goes nicely with the vanilla. And I'm going to beat medium speed onto my stand mixer till all gets nice, light and fluffy. Using the spatula attachment. Now, in the meantime, as I said, the oven is on, getting hot and ready for baking. I'm also going to prepare my baking trays. I bake in trays, and I'm using the perforated trays and some reusable protectors like Beck and Glide. I've got here some cake flour, which I pre-sifted, along with some baking powder, 1 kilogram of flour, cake flour, and 10 grams of baking powder. Then I've also got ready some eggs, whole eggs. The quantity is 1.2 kilograms. And I'm going to put a bit of salt, and I'm using Maldon salt, about 4 grams of salt. The salt will always help the flavor to enhance. Okay, so I will wait till the butter gets light and fluffy. Then I will add the eggs, and then I will put the flour and just get everything ready so that it goes on the baking tray. Butter now is light and fluffy. Okay, and that's the consistency I was looking to get. And I can incorporate now the eggs. Again, medium speed or slow. Okay, and because the size of the bowl is not large enough for me to do a properly mix, I'm going to use a separate bowl to mix the both butter, egg and flour. Okay, scraping everything off from the attachment. So this is obviously a large amount of mix. So if you want to make less, you can halven the quantities or just follow the recipe available all as a PDF on the file section of the group. Now the cake flour has a reduced amount of protein, about 9.2%, so not too much protein into this flour, but still when we start mixing the flour with a liquid, we intend to develop gluten, so I don't want to develop too much. I will only mix till everything gets nicely incorporated. And as I've mentioned before, the flour is sifted. Then I will spread the mixture in between my baking trays. Now if you want to be quite accurate, then you can use a scale and just do it by measuring the amount of butter. I will just do it by eye. And trying to use now a spatula. Trying to get everything nice and even. If the amount you prepare, it fits inside of your mixing bowl, then you can just mix with your mixer. Not for a very long time, just enough to notice that it's all evenly incorporated. From the same reasons, you don't want to develop too much of this gluten. Okay, so all looks even. And if I just kind of level and just split in 4, that's going to give me an idea about how much I should put in one tray, as I've got 4 trays here. Okay, so as I said, it doesn't, in my case, doesn't have to be perfect, perfectly split in between my baking trays. If you prefer to have a deeper layer, then you can spread into just smaller baking trays. Okay, so the trays are set in the oven now. We'll just wait for like 25 minutes and see how they will look like. Okay, so we've got about 3 minutes left, and this is how the sponge looks like. Yeah, so almost done, but it will depend on your oven how the baking stage will be like after 25 minutes. After 25 minutes we can take the cakes out of the oven. And we transfer them straight onto the racks. So the sponge is kind of an amber color, but it's still springy. So if you touch, just put my glove on. If you touch, it behaves like a spring, so it comes back. If you pop your finger and it gets in, that means it's not done. If it's too dry and it doesn't spring, it's overbaked, so it should behave nicely by just springing back when you touch. So it's like the type of consistency I'm looking for.